Good evening, sir.
So, so before starting the interview process, so just let's introduce me about yourself and what are your roles and responsibilities, and just little bit background about your education and your career experience.
Yeah, sir. First of all, my name is Abhinav. I am from Nagpur. I have done my graduation in electrical engineering. Then after
Mhm.
then, uh, I have joined the IT sector. IT sector. In IT sector, I have done the Salesforce as a Salesforce developer. I have joined my company at Nagaro in 2021. So in 2022, sorry. After then, as a DevOps engineer, I selected there. So at the Salesforce Cloud, I am working there as a DevOps engineer. So my work is there to deploy the feedback, to cherry pick the feedback, and to resolve the conflict by using Git. And we are deploying that feedback by using Jenkins and using the remote repository that is GitLab. And that is my experience. And my project name is Crowley. On Crowley project, we are doing this kind of thing, like activity. My roles of responsibility is, as I am working as a release manager there,
Mhm.
so so resolving the conflict to connect the developers at each and every day, cherry picking the UAT feedback. That time also we need to connect with the developers for resolving the conflict, and at the time of production deploy, that time also we need to take call. After then we are deploying the final copy to the production. So that activity I have done in my project. So I have 1.5 of experience in this Salesforce flow.
Okay, so overall, how much experience?
So one overall I have on project 1.5 year of experience, and right now I completed 2.2 year at my organization.
Okay, still you are working, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So when you are working in the day-to-day activities, so how you are getting the request and how you are executing that? On which Jira ticket
So
platform you are getting the request?
no, sir. We are not we are not taking the Jira tickets and all.
Mm-hmm.
Directly, we are connecting our system to VPN. After then, we have the access, uh, Excel sheet access we have. So there will be the link. The developers are adding their links related to their feedback. Means GitLab link. We are clicking on that link, and that merging that feedbacks to the QA, UAT, and production.
Okay. So I mean, you are not following any standard procedure like creating the Jira ticket
Yeah.
and just adding all the task details and then you work on that.
No,
Okay.
sir. Not
So you
kind of that.
directly like someone send you the request via chat, whatever the chat platform you are using, right? Microsoft Teams,
Yes,
Skype, or something, and you are directly starting your task.
yes, sir.
Okay. Any sprint planning or any other internal calls you are
Yeah,
handling?
1 week of yeah. My team leader there with so my team lead is handling the call, and they are just and we have group call at morning related to our work.
Mm-hmm.
So we are as a stand-up call we are doing there.
Mm-hmm.
So related to our work, we need to inform them what kind of work we need to do today, and yesterday what kind of work we have done. So that kind of thing.
Okay.
At the evening, we are giving the feedback related to our work.
Okay. So any major issues you faced there during the any work in the last
Yeah, sir.
one
Major
point five
issues
years?
like major issues like, sir, once we deploying the feedback in QA environment or any UAT environment or production environment. So what happens, sir? If any feedback will getting an error, so we need to stop uh, stop the pipeline related to QA feedback. Once
Mm-hmm.
the error get resolved, once we connect once we get the new request from the developer, after merging it again, so then we need to run that pipeline again. After then that will be deploy finally. So for that we need to stop the deployment related to QA if we are getting the issues in QA, if we are getting the issues in UAT and productions also.
Okay. So when you are deploying, so which tool you are using for the deployment?
So Jenkins tool.
Okay, and where your
We are using
application code was,
Jenkins.
where your application code hosted?
Sir, please repeat it again, sir. Can't understand.
I mean, as a version control system, which you are using, GitHub, GitLab, or something
Yeah,
else.
yes, sir. GitLab, GitLab. We are using the GitLab.
Okay. So what branching strategy you follow there?
Sir, branches strategy, like there are the three main branches. As the Salesforce have the cloud, sales cloud, service cloud, and community cloud. So there will be
Okay.
also three branches will be created. That will be the main branches. That
Mm.
main branches are Dev branch. Sir, so QA branch, UAT branch, and production branch.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So that kind of there.
Okay. So you are actively working on GitHub, or developer will push their code?
Yeah, sir. Developer what? Sir, developer uh, creating the feature branch. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
pushing their
Mm-hmm.
code.
Mm.
Once they create their changes, then they are pushing their code into the GitLab. After then, they creating the branch and sending the link or pasting the link on Excel sheet. So that branch we need to merge that feature branch. So from main branch to feature branch, they are creating, sir.
Yeah, that's correct.
So we need to merge that branch into that feature branch. We need to the merge to the main branch. After then, we need to go for the deployment process.
Okay, so any code reviews you follow there? Like before merging changes, so you should review the
Yes,
code, right?
yes, yeah. So yeah, sir. Code review, like we need the screenshot for approved, or they are sending their screenshot
Mhm.
related to code, and changes also there. We need to verify
Okay.
what kind of changes they have done, and some code review done by their team lead.
Okay, so now coming to the next AWS question, like yeah, you are working rightly. Maybe you can follow the more like in terms of the Jenkins deployment. So how you triggering Jenkins? It's automatically webhook configured, or you manually trigger the pipeline?
Yeah, sir. Uh, no, not automatically, sir. The parameterized pipeline is that.
Okay.
So we need to select the parameter, QA parameter. After then,
Okay.
we need to deploy manually, sir.
Okay.
We need
Environment
to
wise,
run
you
that
select
pipeline.
the parameter.
Yes, sir. Environment wise we are selecting the parameters.
So it's a freestyle project or a declarative pipeline.
Sir, declare your pipeline, sir.
Okay. That pipeline configured by some other OS, or you configured?
Mm, no, sir. Some other ones.
Okay, no issues. So at least you have exposure like how to deploy the changes, right, through the Jenkins.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, great. Then let's coming to the main point, AWS. Okay. So
Yes.
in AWS, what the major task you have performed till now?
AWS major tasks, all are the major tasks for me, sir.
Yeah, any specific one like VPC architecture or something?
Yeah, sir. Yes, sir. VPC architecture. VPC architecture.
Okay. So can you explain that VPC architecture?
Yes, sir. So first of all, VPC, the full form was VPC is Virtual Private Cloud, sir. The
Mm-hmm.
is used for creating our own network inside the region.
Okay.
So AWS, firstly, AWS suggests us if any client want to move their infrastructure on AWS cloud. So for that, AWS suggests to create our own network. So that so for that, AWS giving the feature that called as a VPC. So VPC is used for creating our own partition inside the region. So for that, VPC is used. So for VPC, the VPC size depends upon the subnet marks value. So there will be need to enter the subnet marks value. For example, 10.0.0.0/16. That's
Okay.
will create the VPC size.
Mm-hmm.
After then there will be the subnet also. The subnet is used for creating the means there will be subnet. The subnet having private subnet by default. AWS provide the private subnet. So there will be the types also. The types are private and public subnet. For public subnet, so first of all, the subnet means the creating the partition inside the VPC or creating small networks.
IP
So
pool.
that we call
Okay.
it as a subnet. Yeah.
Mm.
So for that, if we want to create the public subnet, so for that we need to enable it into the public subnet. After then,
Okay.
so if we want to give the internet connection to the public subnet, for example, we want to create the web server. So for that we need to give the internet connections. So that we need to connect the internet gateway. Internet gateway is used for giving the connections to our public subnet. And
Mm-hmm.
so for that, directly internet gateway will not able to give the connection to the public subnet. So for that, we need to create the route table. Route table is used for connecting the internet gateway and public subnet.
Routing the
So one
traffic.
end of the we are routing the traffic. So for that, we need to connect the first uh, one end of route table need to connect to the subnet, public subnet, and another end need to connect to the internet gateway. This is regarding the public subnet. And for private subnet, if we have a database is each and every organization, the database subnet is a private subnet. So for that, uh, if we want to give, if we want to give the internet connection to the private subnet, so for that we need to create the NAT gateway. NAT gateway is a network address,
Mm-hmm.
network address. So NAT gateway we need to create at the public subnet. After then we need to give the connection. So for that we also using the route table. Both one end need to the connect to the private subnet and one end need to connect to the NAT gateway. And there will be the one component also that we called as a Bastion server.
Okay.
Bastion server is used. Bastion servers. The if you are a database administrator or you want to change some, you want to do any kind of changes in your databases. For example, we have taken. So database is the private subnet. So we are not entered directly to the private subnet. So for that, we need one component. So for that, we are using Bastion server. Bastion server will is using for getting the connection between the inter means getting the interrelation or communication between the private subnet. Today, this is the architecture of the VPC, and for security purpose, for subnet security purpose, we are using the NACL. NACL used for security purpose to the subnet.
Okay. What about the security group?
Security group is used for providing security to our instances,
Instance level.
our EC2 instances. Yeah, instance
Okay.
level is used for our security group.
Okay. So let's say you have one, yeah, sorry, EC2 instance configured where your Apache, I mean the any website hosting, right, on the any particular server, and you have RDS database. So now the requirement is how you want to connect that application to database connectivity. How you can configure this. So basically, application should contact to database server. So how you make the changes
Application
in the
need to be contacted to the database.
yeah.
Hmm.
So how you can make
Security
the
group, sir.
connectivity? Yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah,
up to
yeah.
you.
So for that, what we need to give, we need to open the security group at database. at inside the database. So if so for that, what we need to do, we need to give the SSH all traffic, and using the my IP at database connection in security group.
Why SSH? Why not database port?
No, no, sir. Database all traffic we need to use, sir, for at database instance.
Yeah, but which
And
port
using
you will open?
my
Let's
IP.
say you can consider as a no, not I'm asking about the network IP. Like you are running on the MySQL database. So which port you will open for the application
Yeah.
server?
So my uh,
What is the port number for
HTTP
MySQL?
ports
What is the port number for MySQL?
3306.
Yeah. So you should open the 3306 as inbound rules in the database security group for the application IP address.
Okay.
So for the better security and other terms, you can use application private IP address in the inbound rules for the database security group. So you should not use that public IP address as inbound rules there.
Mhm.
And as a best practice, when we talk about the real-time scenario, so database should be in public subnet or private subnet.
So private subnet database should be in private subnet,
Okay, any
because
reason behind it?
if we are creating the database in public subnet, so anyone can take our data by using public IP, sir. So that's why
Mm-hmm.
we need to create the private database in private subnet, sir.
Okay.
That's the best practices we
So
need to
have you
follow.
configured RDS in the project?
Yes, sir. I have configured the IDs in projects.
Okay. So now the second requirement I have, like I have one EC2 instance which is available in the Mumbai region. Because of the any migration of the project or offices, like anything. So I want to migrate that EC2 instance from Mumbai region to either Hyderabad or any other locations like North Virginia something. So how we can migrate that instance to another region or another account?
So yeah. So for that, first we need to we need to take the backup of that instance by using snapshot.
Mhm.
So after then we need to after then we need to create the copy of that instance. So for that we need to use the launch template. After launching the template, after launching the template, uh, we need to configure it at another region.
Can you repeat once again?
First, we need to take first we need to take this backup of that instance
Mhm.
by using snapshot. Or after then, we need to create the launch template by using that instance. After launching the template, we need to select the region. After selecting the region, uh, in, uh, we need to launch that instance at that region where we need to migrate it.
Is that possible? I mean, is that a right way to migrate the instance? Launch template we
No,
use for
sir, I have
auto
not
scaling,
tried.
right?
Yes, sir. Launch template we are using auto scaling also, and we are launching the template is for copy of instance, right?
Okay. So basically, how we can migrate the instance from one region to another region or one account to another AWS accounts. So the first step is rightly said. Like first we have to take the backup like AMI. AMI, the
Hmm.
difference between AMI and the snapshot is basically AMI will take complete backup of your servers, okay, server,
Yes.
and the snapshot will take only the ABS volume backup, not the full server. Okay,
Hmm.
just keep in mind.
Yes, yes, yes.
And once we take the AMI backup of that particular servers, then if you click on that particular AMI, you will see that under the bottom side permission option a tab. Okay, from there you can just edit that attributes. Sorry, edit that attribute and add the target account number, AWS account number where you want to migrate it. Okay. that account number you should paste there and just save it as a private sharing. Okay. So after a certain couple of minutes, that EMI will be automatically migrate to that particular target AWS accounts, which ID you have passed there, account number basically. Okay. And from where you can get that AWS account number, from the right top corner in the under your name. If you click on that, you will
Account
get that
ID.
account ID. Yes. And if you want to migrate from one region to another region, just click on that AMI, and from the action button, you will see that copy AMI. Okay. Then if you click on the copy AMI, you will see that option, the select the target region. Okay. So from there, you can just take any region basically where you want to migrate it. Let's say Hyderabad, North Virginia, or any other something. Okay. Singapore, like that. So you can just copy that way. Or this is the migration of the EC2 instance. If you want to do directly like a fresh setup, then you can just create EC2 fresh EC2 instance on that target location, either region or any AWS accounts. Okay. And you can just set up whatever the things available in the source EC2 servers, like your Apache or Nginx servers. Then whatever the data available, application data, you have to download it and you have to copy that, upload on the new servers. Okay. That is a different thing. But actual exact migration, you can just do like earlier steps I just explained, right?
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Okay, so another question, like my website is working on HTTP and I want to make it more secure, like HTTPS. So how we can do this?
So, sir, for that we need to change the port security group, security group. By
Mm-hmm.
using HTTP, we need to create another HTTPS and
Mm-hmm.
allowing all traffic.
Okay. Any other settings?
So we need to only change the security group, sir.
Okay. Only after changing the security groups will that work? HTTPS URL. Okay. So to answer this question, like if you want to make your website securely like HTTPS, okay, with the SSL certificate. So for that main component, we required like SSL certificate. Okay. So if you are using AWS service, there is a one service like ACM, Amazon AWS Certificate Manager Service, from where you can purchase free SSL certificate per domain. Okay. So they provide basically facility to give the free certificate for per domain. So you can use that. If you want to use any third party SSL certificate, it might be global sign or any third party providers. So you can import that SSL certificate into AWS ACM service, AWS Certificate Manager Service. Okay, in that. So in that, let's say you are using EC2 instance. On the top of that, you are using load balancer. So when you create the load balancer, there is a option like listener pins, on which port on which port number request should accept. Okay, it might be HTTP, which is a work on a 80 port, or for to make it secure HTTPS port. Okay, 443. So when you create the listener for the 443 HTTPS, in that situation you have to pass the SSL certificate. Okay, so where you can get the options like which certificate you want to select from the drop down list. So if you have only single SSL certificate, you will get only one. If you have a number of SSL certificate you imported already or using in that AWS accounts, okay, so per domain, so you will get, and you will have to select from there that list. Okay? And for the encryption method, you will ask like a TLS method, which is the AWS recommended line. You can just select that. And the second action item is like, as you said, you have to open the HTTPS port number 443. For the, if you are making the public, then you have to make it like a anywhere 000 slash 0, like that. Then your website will work as a HTTPS. I hope, is
Sir,
that clear?
yeah, sir, can I ask this question to you once again?
Yeah,
At your video, this will be have.
yeah.
Okay.
Do you have any question?
No, sir.
Okay. Yeah, at the end of the session, you can ask me the question if you have any doubts.
Yeah, yeah. Mhm.
Okay. So now the second question is like, what is the use case of autoscaling group, or why we use autoscaling?
Yeah, sir. The autoscaling is used, and the autoscaling, this feature is provided by the AWS to adjust the number of EC2 instance in a group. And
Mhm.
the goal of autoscaling is uh, uh, scaling or means adjusting the instance in the desired capacity.
Mhm.
And after then, the use cases is we are getting the instances. Uh, so
Okay. So basically, auto scaling use cases is like, let's say we are running the infrastructure. So we don't, if you are working on the very critical application where we will not afford any major downtime or any major maintenance, right? So in that any major downtime or any unnecessary issues on that, performance issues might be okay. So in that case, we can just, when we design the architecture, we should add the auto scaling group. Okay, so the use case of the auto scaling group is basically, so let's say when unexpected traffic trigger on our applications, so in that case, CPU utilization might spike, right, on the EC2
mm,
servers. Once CPU utilization spikes, so in that case, if you have only single server, so what will happen? It will get the performance degradation, right? It will not work as bigger server like to make the your website faster like that. Okay, it will once CPU gets utilization 100% or something, in that case might be the
it
chances
will get
to
done.
crash the servers or stuck, right? The process gets stuck or hang process. So in that case, we to avoid this kind of situation, we can add the auto scaling group where we can set the parameter like minimum, maximum, and desired size. Okay, minimum means what? The when the scaling out scale triggers or scale in trigger means removing the servers, then it will keep whatever the numbers you have mentioned there, like minimum one. So he will keep the one server there. Okay, at least one server. And the desired value, like when you configure the auto scaling group with a desire, let's say two, so he will start running at least two servers at the time. Okay, if you make it a
Mm,
five, maximum five, so there are three parameters: minimum, maximum, and desired value. Okay, so maximum means when the scale out happens. So in that case, your whatever the
maximum
maximum capacity, it will increase till that
maximum
number.
instance will create.
Yeah. So you can set up that scaling policy based on your CPU utilization, your network, or load balancer request like that. So normally people use
Yes.
most time based on the CPU utilization. Okay, because that is the main target. So if that gets spiked, so that server will automatically added by the autoscaling group. As a DevOps engineer or cloud engineer, we should not worry about the just checking the manually the graphs, utilization graphs, then adding the servers manually, because that is not a good practice. If you are for the single infrastructure, it might be fine, but what about if you are managing the multiple projects? So it's that not possible, right? To actively monitoring any infrastructure and just doing the manual configuration, right? So in that case, we can use that auto scaling group.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now coming to the S3 bucket. So as no like S3 bucket we use for the storing point of view, right? We can store any form of the data over there, any file format like exe, jpg, pdf, or xls files, csv files, whatever the files. Okay. So let's say I have one use case. I have a banking domain project.
Sir,
So
wait,
yeah,
wait, sir. Lagging, sir. Video lagging.
my network issues. Let me check. Now is that fine? I'm audible now.
Sir, what about my voice?
Now it's clear.
Yeah,
Okay. So basically, I was
video
asking
is lagging.
question.
That's why, sir.
Okay, now it's fine, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So basically, I am working on the one of the banking project, right? where auditing related data storing on the S3 bucket. Okay, so my client told me basically, client sent me the requirement like keep only last 30 days data active, then remaining data should be moved to archival for the longer auditing point of view, like 1 year, 5 year or something, because it's a banking sector data, we don't know when we required for any legal process or something. So how you can set up that S3 bucket to make only last 30 days data, and remaining data should be in the archive.
So for that, we are using the lifecycle manager rules.
Okay, and
We
how you
need
can say
to set
how
the
you will set up?
lifecycle at selecting that bucket. Yeah,
Mhm,
go into the properties of that bucket, and there will be the option
mhm.
called as a lifecycle manager rule. So we are
Okay.
adding there according to the time period. So we need to create the lifecycle manager for that and adding that bucket in that lifecycle manager.
Okay. And if you want to delete uh, data after 30 days, then
So we are adding there. There will be the what we can say.
so same life cycle policy you will follow, right? Only option should be
Yes,
different.
yes. There will be life cycle. Yes, yes, sir. Life cycle policy will be there. We need to select that life cycle policy,
Okay.
and option. There will be the options also. We need to select that according to the time period, and that data will be stored or will be deleted within the days, within a time period.
So basically there is an option like expired objects. Once you select that
Mhm.
option on the drop down in the bottom side, you will see the like how much number of days to add, like keep. If you mention like 30 days, so after 30 days, that process automatically delete the older data. So what is the versioning of S3 bucket and when it will be helpful?
Yeah, sir. Versioning is used for maintaining the versions in S3 bucket, and
Mhm,
if we want to delete once, if suddenly anyone deleted the file that will be stored in S3 bucket,
mhm,
so if we enable that versioning, so there will be the recovery also as a purpose of recovery.
mhm.
So versioning will do like a work. So there will be the delete marker also once that object will be deleted. So we need to enable deleted the delete marker and we'll get backup of that file or whatever the data we stored.
Okay. So what about if you instead of deleting the delete marker, you deleted actual file? So will that possible to get that data back?
If we deleted a delete marker also and
No, no.
if we deleted.
Yeah, the procedure is to get the like the recover to that object back. So we need to delete the delete marker basically, right?
Hmm,
If we delete the delete marker, we will get that file back, right? So basically we can restore that
mhm.
file. So let's say
Yeah.
instead of deleting the delete marker, you by mistakenly delete the original file. Even
Hmm.
original file you already deleted, but even from versioning, you also deleted that file instead of delete the delete marker file. So will that possible to get that file back as a recovery?
No.
Is that clear? Question clear or any doubt?
Yes, sir. No, sir. Question is clear.
Mhm.
We'll not able to get back that data or that file.
Yeah, correct. So okay. So how you can host the static website on the S3 bucket?
Yeah, sir. Static website hosting, that is the feature provided by the S3 bucket. So
Mhm,
static website is used for if we want to host our website at securely. So for that, the S3 bucket having feature. So for that, we
mhm,
need to add the index.html file also and error.html file also. If
mhm.
the index.html file is not working properly, so see the static website option having by default it will show the error.html file. So that is the purpose of static website hosting.
Mhm.
So for that, that we also called as the um, that is the
Okay,
last option.
okay, you will get the endpoint URL right after setup.
Yes, at endpoint of the S3 bucket, we also call it as the static website hosting, sir.
Okay, so basically that URL is HTTP, okay, not HTTPS. If you want to achieve that URL HTTPS, so how you can configure that in let's say you have set up the S3 bucket website static hosting.
Hmm.
Is there any other option or any tech stack you will add AWS services to make it HTTPS? Because when we set up the HTTPS, static website hosting on the S3 bucket, we will not get HTTPS URL to secure it. We will get only plain HTTP, right? URL.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Okay. So,
No idea, sir. No idea, sir. Will you please explain it?
so in that case, we can use CloudFront there on the top of that. And on the in the
Hmm.
CloudFront, we can add origin as S3 bucket, okay, and we can store the whatever the data website data available in that S3 bucket, and in the CloudFront, we can add the any particular domain name with SSL certificate there. So that will the CloudFront will support the HTTPS URL. So we will get the endpoint as HTTPS there with the help of CloudFront, and our website will be stored on the S3 bucket.
Okay.
So now coming to this like difference between IMA users and roles.
Hmm.
Can you explain that?
Sorry. Yeah, so I am a user. I am a user which are created by the users which having the access
Mhm.
related to their restricted policies,
Mhm.
and by using I am user we can log in our account also, AWS account also, and so by using roles we are not able to log in the AWS account,
Mhm.
and roles are used for a temporary access of purpose.
Okay. Any major difference between roles and users?
Yes, there will be the major difference. So user can create the roles.
User can create the roles. Okay. Okay. So basically, users will get access key and secret key. Okay. But
Yes, yes.
role doesn't. Okay. The other one is like we will user can access through anywhere. Like if you have access key and secret key, but role have to it will work within AWS network wherever you want to configure like with for AC2 instance or Lambda function like that. And definitely, you can configure the cross account IMA roles. There is a feature I have already prepared the one videos on my YouTube channel where you can definitely
Yes, 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 yes.
find out for to accessing the cross account S3 bucket or EC2 instance, right? But the major one is like in a role we will not get that access key and secret key, and users we will get and access key and secret key, and we can
We are
enable
using
that
the access
console access,
access.
and you can use it from anywhere if you have access and secret key. No any network bounding by default, basically. And as a if you ask me like a real-time standards, so no one suggests to use IMA users because of the security point of view, because it does access and secret key. If that expose or gets spam, so that will be a very risky, because if that user has a full access or any specific service full access, so that will be a very mess up there infrastructure point of view. So that is the reason no one as a standardized organization to suggest to use that IMA users. Instead of that, you can just use the IMA roles or any service communication. Okay. So now coming to that one custom policy. So let's say I have one S3 bucket. I want to make sure that that S3 bucket should accessible through only particular IP address. As we know, S3 bucket is a globalization. We can access that S3 bucket from anywhere if you have access key and secret key. But I want to make sure that for the security point of view, that S3 bucket should have only accessible through the particular IP address. So is that possible?
Uh, Sorry, sir, I don't know, sir.
Okay.
Doesn't, will you please know, sir?
So basically in custom policy, when by default standard policy, AWS managed policy, that's not supported. But when we design the custom policy, there is an option like IP base as a source IP. We can mention the particular IP address so that S3 and we can apply for that user now user policy. So only that in that case that S3 bucket will accessible from the particular IP address, not the global one.
Okay, sir.
So I think that's all for the 2 days. Okay.